Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Dungeon Learner's Guide. Today we are opening up a set booster box for the new D&D Adventures in the Forgotten Realms Magic set. I did want to, before we got started, point out that I did get this from Channel Fireball. They had a bit of a sale where you could get the box, and for a little bit more, also get a deck box, a couple of token cards, or token things, and then a bunch of promo cards as well. So I did want to make sure I highlighted that, and a big thank you to Channel Fireball for that. But so we'll go through, kind of open things up, but it should come with, we got the foil Path to Exile, we got 4 non-foil Path to Exiles, a foil Lightning Bolt, 4 non-foil Lightning Bolts, and then a non-foil Soul Ring. So some awesome stuff. It definitely wasn't that much more than the normal deck box price, or not the deck box price, the normal price for a set booster box. So if you're ever interested, something to check into, I'll definitely make good use of those. I'm a big Boros player, so red and white, I'm all about that life for the Path to Exiles and the bolts. But, oh, I also forgot too, this playmat actually also came with it. So I got a nice Thrashing Brontodon playmat to go along with everything. So figured we'll open this on the playmat. We'll see how it goes. There are a bunch of booster packs in here. I'm not 100% sure how many. I want to say it's about 30. But each set booster contains at least 1 rare or mythic, maybe more, a guaranteed foil, and an art card. So I am a massive D&D fan, massive Magic fan, so I am very excited for this. So let's open this up, and I'll probably, hopefully it's not too loud for you, try to open most of it away from the microphone so I don't make people go too crazy with the sounds. There we go, D&D, Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. And then if we open it up, got a bit of thing there. And there we go. So it is kind of cool. I know that for the normal packs, all of the art is the same. So it's all Drizzt Do'Urden, but this one looks like there's some different ones. We got a Mind Flayer. I think this is Imrith, I think is its name, the legendary blue dragon. So I'm gonna set this over here so it's kind of out of the way, but we can still kind of see it, and we will go ahead and get started. So, oh, and I just noticed too, another one of the arts, Bahamut, who the first time I played D&D, I became a cleric to Bahamut, so big personal enjoyment for that for me. But here we go. So our first pack, it's got one of the fancy artworks. This is for I can't pronounce that right. Jin or Ginny Windseer. So it's one of the like classic old school D&D style ones, which is super cool. We got an island, which the lands have flavor text in this set, which is real dope. They're like intros to D&D adventures. We start with Trelasara Moon Dancer, legendary elf, Brazen Dwarf, Earth Cult Elemental, Hoarding Ogre, a Barrowin, Cloister Gargoyle, 50 Feet of Rope, Knoll Hunter, Goblin Javelineer, and our rare is a Meteor Swarm. So X red red red, Meteor Swarm deals 8 damage divided as you choose among X target creatures and or planeswalkers. So for 4 mana you can do 8 damage to something. Seems pretty good. Our foil is a Planar Ally. Here, we'll separate out the rares, why not? Planar Ally. 5 mana Angel, 3/3 flying. Whenever it attacks, venture into the dungeon. And there's our first dungeon as well. Lost Mine of Phandelver. Comes with a skeleton on the back of it. So I've played a little bit of this set. I've been lucky enough to draft it a few times, and it does seem very cool. I'm very excited to be able to open a lot of this. Like I mentioned, I'm a big D&D fan, so to be able to cross that over into Magic, I very much appreciate. So our next one, art card, that's a half-elf monk. Ooh, this poor Knoll, kind of getting clopped a little bit. We got a swamp, a loathsome troll. So it looks like in these set boosters, the first non-land card is going to be one of the showcase frames, which is kind of cool. Arborea Pegasus, Eyes of the Beholder, another Goblin Javelineer, Targnar, legendary Knoll. I am glad to get a lot of the legendaries. I'm mainly a commander player, so Ray of Frost, Red Dragon, Shocking Grasp, Celestial Unicorn, and then our rare is a Dungeon Descent. It's a land, enters the battlefield tapped, adds a colorless, and we can pay for, tap it, and tap an untapped legendary creature you control, venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. So, seems kind of cool. And then a foily Divine Smite, and, oh, there's a token there, a Dog Illusion, which I think is the token made by the Mordenkainen Planeswalker. So that's pretty cool. See, so far, I will say I really like the artwork for a lot of the cards, especially the classic showcase frames. I really like the look of them. But alright, our next one, oh, speak of the classic showcase frames, it's a Gargoyle. This one is Cloister Gargoyle. Very different from the actual card that we saw earlier. We got a Plains, a Celestial Unicorn. Oh, and the regular Celestial Unicorn for comparison. A Priest of Ancient Lore, Dawnbringer Cleric, Green Dragon, Temple of the Dragon Queen to Tiamat. One of my players in my current campaign has a bit of a beef with Tiamat, so I'm hoping to kind of get the actual Dragon Queen herself to show it off. Dragon's Disciple, a Spare Dagger, Fly, and then Varus Silvery Moon Ranger is the rare out of this. It's a 3-mana 3/3 Human Elf Ranger, so I think that means it's a half-elf. Reach, Ward 1. Whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers once each turn. Whenever you complete a dungeon, make a 2/2 wolf. So that's pretty cool. And the foil is a Soul Knife Spy. And our token is another tomb, or another dungeon. This is Tomb of Annihilation, which makes the 4/4 Atropal token. I really like the dungeons. I think they're super sweet. I do appreciate that there's only 3 of them. I feel like that makes life a little bit easier. You don't have to worry too much about like losing track of all the dungeons, since there's only 3 of them. Next up we have, looks like a dragon turtle. It is. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. So dragon turtle, which is an actual D&D enemy. It has stats on the back of the art card. That's awesome. So it's a gargantuan dragon, challenge rating 17, armor class 20, hit points 341, attacks bite, claw, tail, steam breath. That's fun. I like that. I had no idea that was in the set. Rhyme Shield, Frost Giant, Paladin Shield, Devoted Paladin, Steadfast Paladin, man, paladins for days. Goblin Morning Star, Battlecry Goblin. You see a pair of goblins, so a bunch of goblins in a row too. We got a Hobgoblin Captain, Yuan Ti Fangblade. There's our rare, which is a Triumphant Adventurer. 2 mana, 1/1 Human Knight, Death Touch. As long as it's your turn, Triumphant Adventurer has first strike. It's nice. It can kill things, get them out of the way. And then whenever it attacks, venture into the dungeon. Oh, and our foil, that's pretty. Kalane, Reclusive Painter. So another legendary creature. Don't know how well that's picking up on camera, but I think it's working. And then our token is a wolf. So very nice. Haven't seen any list cards yet. I'm assuming there's still list cards in set boosters, but I guess I don't technically know for sure. I didn't really do much research on the set before opening it up. I kind of just wanted to be surprised by the dungeons and the dragons. So this one, oops, Jaded Sellsword. Kind of cool. A mountain. Arborea Pegasus. Charmed Sleep. Soul Knife Spy. Scion of Stygia. Grim Wanderer with a tragic backstory. I like him. You Meet in a Tavern. Prosperous Innkeeper. Kick in the Door. Split the Party. I think my DM would hate this one. And our rare is a Werewolf Pack Leader. 2 mana, 3/3. That's already pretty good. Human Werewolf. Pack Tactics. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attacked with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. And then you can pay 4, and until end of turn, it has base power and toughness 5/3, gains trample, and is not a human. So that's pretty sweet. And then we got a foil Prosperous Innkeeper to go with our non-foil one we just got. And, oh, we got our first list card. We were just saying that. We got Release the Dogs. So this is a jumpstart card. 4 mana, create 4 1/1 white dog creature tokens. That is pretty cool. I didn't open much jumpstart, so it's kind of nice to have some of the jumpstart cards. Some dogs. Alright. We'll move on to our next one. Like I said, I'm trying to open the packs away from the mic. Oh, there we go. There's Bahamut right there. I don't remember his actual name in the set. Grandmaster of Flowers. So, big fan of that one. I'm hoping we can pull him at some point. So we got an Underdark Basilisk, Spoils of the Hunt, Elterguard Ranger, Ranger's Longbow, Fly, Eccentric Apprentice, You Find Some Prisoners, a Shambling Ghast, Arcane Investigator, and our rare is a Nadar Selfless Paladin. This is another one of those cards. I was really hoping to get this one. I think this design is really sweet. 3 mana, legendary creature Dragon Knight, 3/3 with Vigilance. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. And then in other creatures you control, get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. So it can anthem your team if you've completed a dungeon. 3/3 with Vigilance for 3 is not bad. That extra venturing into the dungeon also very good. So I do like him. Next we have a Manticore. And then our token is a Magic minigame, Magic and Minions. Use the cards in a booster to inspire your own one-shot adventure. It's kind of cool. So you get to play a little bit of D&D using some of the Magic cards. I like that idea. Especially if you get some of the art cards that have the abilities of the creatures on the back, or the stats of the creatures on the back. Could work. Alright, our next one, we got, I think this is the Frost Giant we saw earlier. Oh, this one also has the stats. Frost Giant, Huge Giant, Challenge 8, Armor Class 15, Hit Points 138, attacks with a Great Axe and a Rock. I really like these. These are the kind of stuff that my DM doesn't play D&D, but I might have to show him these, because these are super cool. We've got a Swamp, we have an Iron Golem, Plummet, Arborea Pegasus, Eyes of the Beholder, Hama Pashar Ruin Seeker, that's another legend, Human Wizard, Dungeons trigger an additional time, that's fun, Grim Wanderer, You Meet in a Tavern, Keen-Eared Sentry, another Hama Pashar, that's weird, look at that, same pack, boom. Then we got a Sphere of Annihilation. Sphere of Annihilation is X and a black for an artifact. Enters the battlefield with X void counters on it. And at the beginning of your upkeep, exile Sphere of Annihilation. All creatures and planeswalkers with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it, and all creature and planeswalker cards in graveyards with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it. So just exile everything if you can put enough mana into it, but it does have to survive a round. Oh, that's pretty. Look at him. We got a shiny Mimic. And I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but the only part of this that's foil seems to be the actual art and then the names of the artists and stuff at the bottom. That's super cool. Big fan of that one. And then treasure token to go along with our Mimic. Because I'm sure they have treasure, right? Alright. Next up, we have... looks like a ghoul of some sort. Yep, it's literally what it is, ghoul. Medium undead, challenge 1, armor class 12, hit points 22, attacks with a bite and a claw. Okay. We got an island. Oh, there we go. We haven't seen one of these yet. We have an Evolving Wilds. So I think the lands in this set have like old school module art. I haven't actually seen one of these in person, even though, like I said, I've done a couple of drafts. I haven't actually seen one. I like it. Big fan. I know some people aren't a fan, but I like it at least. You come to the Knoll Camp, a Sylvan Shepherd, Inspiring Bard, Wizard class. So I think this is the first class we've seen. You can like... it's an enchantment, you put it on board, you level up as you go, and you get the new abilities. They seem pretty powerful. Magic Missile, Iron Golem, Guild Thief, Monk of the Open Hand, and our rare, a Guardian of Faith. 1 white for a Spirit Knight 3/2, Flash, Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield, any number of other target creatures you control phase out. That's dope. I like that. This is... I play Spirits in Pioneer, so this might wind up in there as a 1 or 2. I like him. And then our foil is a Spare Dagger. And our token is a treasure. Alright. Next up, we've got... oop, maybe this pack's being a little bit more stubborn than the others. We got... got Zariel. Zariel's another one. She's, for the D&D campaign that I DM for, Zariel has played a pretty significant role so far. So I'm happy to see her show up in this. Forest Owlbear. Oh, look at him. He's real pretty. Farida's Fireball, Swarming Goblins, Brazen Dwarf, Druid class, to go along with our Wizard class, Gretchen Titchwillow, Legendary Halfling Druid. Pay 4, draw a card. You can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Seems pretty good. Sudden Insight, Paladin's Shield, Wild Shape. And then our rare, another class, Ranger class this time. 2 mana, when it enters the battlefield, make a 2/2 wolf. Levels up for 2 mana. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. Levels up to level 3 for 4 mana. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. This one seems really good. Okay, and an Unexpected Windfall for the foil. And we got another dungeon. I think we've already gotten this one. Yeah, Lost Mine of Fandelver. So we haven't seen the 3rd dungeon yet, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. It's a bit weird that we've only gotten 1 list card so far, though. There's supposed to be like 1 in every 4 pack, I think I saw something say. Next up, we got... it's like a nymph or a dryad of some sort. It is a Neverwinter Dryad. We got a Plains, a Mimic, non-foily Mimic. Hobgoblin Captain, Dueling Rapier, Boots of Speed, Dungeon Map. Purple Worm, do like a good Purple Worm. A Blue Dragon, Inspiring Bard, Brazen Dwarf. Oh, another class, Bard class. So a green and a red. Legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. You can level it up to level 2 for 2 mana. Legendary spells you cast cost a red and a green less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. And then 3 red-green, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. That seems powerful. And then our foil, a Shambling Ghast. Very shiny. And, oh, see, poking out, we got a list card there. List card is a Will-o'-the-Wisp. 1 black for a spirit, 0/1 flying, can pay a black to regenerate. Okay. And it's from M25, it looks like, or not M25, Masters 25. I don't think there's been an M25 yet. We're not there yet. Alright, next up. Also, I was just saying how we didn't get a list card for a while, and then we just got one, and I'll spoil the surprise. We got another one in here. I'm pretty sure that's what the magic back is. And our art card, what is that one? That is, oh gosh, Contact Other Plane. Very nice. And a Swamp. Ooh, look at him. A white dragon. That's real pretty. Haven't seen one of those yet. Herald of Hadar. Minimus Containment. You find the villain's lair. There's the regular white dragon. So we can kind of compare borderless to non-borderless, or to regular, I suppose. Super cool. Oh, black dragon to go along with him. Choose your weapon. A zombie ogre. Zombogre. A blink dog. Ooh, hello. Look at that. Lolth, Spider Queen. First Planeswalker. She's 3 black. Legendary Planeswalker Lolth. Comes in with 4 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth Spider Queen. You can pay 0, draw a card, and lose a life. -3, create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. And -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. That's pretty dope. Do like Lolth. So I think this is our first mythic as well, so that's exciting. We'll put her in our rare pile. We have a Plundering Barbarian, foily, and then for our list card, it is a Gitu Chronicler. 1 in a red, 1/3, human wizard with kicker, 3 in a red. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. So, I remember that from Dominaria Limited. I don't remember it being super great, but it seems like it could be pretty good in like a kicker deck, which, if you're interested in a kicker deck, we've done one of those for the Commander's Guild on this channel, so check that one out. Oh, look at him. We got an Owlbear. I really like the full art, like alternate art cards, like the showcase ones. I think these for the art cards are really cool. It's Owlbear. We got an island. Oh, we got a blue dragon to go along with our white dragon without a border. We got a vampire spawn. You're ambushed on the road. Valor Singer. Chaos Channeler. I like the sound of that. Burning Hands. Loathsome Troll. A Baleful Beholder. Another Trelasara Moon Dancer. We got one of the showcase ones of her earlier. And then we have Dragon Turtle. We got the art card for him earlier too. But he is a 3-mana, 3/5 Dragon Turtle with Flash and Drag Below. When Dragon Turtle enters the battlefield, tap it and up to one target creature an opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap steps. It's pretty sweet. And our foil, oh, there we go, look at that. Temple of the Dragon Queen. So the Tiamat Dragon Land. And then our token is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, with a goblin on the back. And this is the first Dungeon of the Mad Mage we've seen. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the longest of the 3 dungeons. But now we've seen all 3 dungeons, so that's good. We at least know we've got them if we need them. Alright. Next up, we have... looks like a kobold. It is a... oops. Spoiled the art card there. Oh, look at that. There's another one of these. Kobold. Small humanoid kobold. Challenge 1/8. Armor class 12. Hit points 5. Attacks dagger and sling. That's pretty sweet. This is... I know I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I gotta show my DM these. Especially the kobold one. He's a big kobold fan. Then we have a mountain. We have the Baleful Beholder, which is really pretty. I love this art. I know a lot of people were very mixed on this art style, but I love it. I think it's really pretty. Potion of Healing. Celestial Unicorn. A Priest of Ancient Lore. Intrepid Outlander. You Happen on a Glade. Wandering Troubadour. Pixie Guide. Ooh, and a Teleportation Circle. Teleportation Circle, 3 and a white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to one target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's a shame. I have a Blink deck for Commander, but it's blue-black. It doesn't actually have white in it, so this can't go in it. So I'll have to figure something else out for that. Oh, we actually got 2 rares in this one. Our other rare is the Hand of Vecna. 3 mana for legendary artifact equipment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, equipped creature or a creature you control named Vecna gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Equip, pay 1 life for each card in your hand, or equip for 2 mana. So if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 Vecna cards in this set. And if you combine all 3 of them, you make, I think it's an 8/8 indestructible token named Vecna. So we got 1 of them. We'll have to see if we get the other 2. And then our foil is a Shortcut Seeker. And our token is a Treasure. Alright, so it looks like we might be about halfway through. I probably should have numbered these out so I knew where we were, but that's alright. Alright, next up we have... oh, this one is... I think it's Fly. I think we've seen this, but I don't know how well that shows up on camera. You can see the signature there. So that's super sweet. So yep, it's just Fly by Lai Sishawan. And that looks like his or her signature. Got a Mountain of Bullet. Baleful Beholder. You Come to a River. Regular Evolving Wilds. Prosperous Innkeeper. Skullport Merchant. We got the non-foil Kalane, Reclusive Painter. Arborea Pegasus. Neverwinter Dryad. And our rare is a True Polymorph. 6 mana, instant. Target artifact or creature becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature. And it doesn't say until end of turn. That is a... well, that's a true polymorph. That's a permanent effect. That's kind of cool. Not quite sure what deck it would be used in, but I feel like it could be kind of fun. And then we have... our foil is a Veteran Dungeoneer. And our list card, you can see it poking out, is a Krark's Thumb. That's really nice. This is a card that shot up in price when a lot of the coin flipping cards came out, and I was thinking about picking one up, but I was like, nah, they're too expensive. So that's awesome. Really glad to get that one. I genuinely didn't even know this was in the list. So, but 2 mana artifact. If you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 coins and ignore 1. So it's like it gives you advantage on coin flips, kind of like you could get advantage on rolling dice for D&D, where you roll 2 and take the highest. I know the Pixie guide that we saw earlier actually does the same thing. Kind of gives you advantage on your rolls. Alright, next up we've got... looks like someone just dying. Oh, yeah, it's power word kill. So it's someone literally dying. So, kind of cool, kind of creepy. We got a mountain. Pixie guide. Oh, it's the one we were just talking about. See? 2 mana, flying, 1/3, grant an advantage. If you would roll 1 or more dice, instead roll that many dice plus 1 and ignore the lowest roll. So you kind of get advantage on your rolls. Armory Veteran, Great Axe, Leather Armor, Hunter's Mark, Tiger Tribe Hunter, a Hulking Bugbear, Soul Knife Spy, and our rare is a Monk class. So Monk class is a white and a blue. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. You can level it up for 2 mana. When it becomes level 2, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then levels up to level 3 for 3 mana. And it says at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. For as long as it remains exiled, it has, you may cast this card from exile as long as you've cast another spell this turn. That's kind of cool. Get that flurry of blows feeling from the monks. And then, oh, we got another rare too. Westgate Regent in the fancy frame. 3 black for a vampire. 4/4 flying. Ward of discard a card. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. That's cool. So you hit someone for 4 damage and all of a sudden he becomes an 8/8 and then 16, 32. I can get behind that. I can support that. Price of Loyalty. And we have a wolf. Alright. So I am very happy with everything we've gotten. I will say I haven't seen a lot of mythics. I think Lolth so far has been our only mythic. But we did get that Krark's Thumb, so I can't complain about that. Even though it wasn't in the actual set, so I don't know if that counts for us. But that's the blue dragon we saw earlier, I'm pretty sure. Yep. We got a shiny forest. Shiny adventure forest. We got a Neverwinter Dryad. Kick in the door. You see a guard approach. Bull's Strength. Bruenor Battlehammer. Do like Bruenor. Very famous Forgotten Realms character. We got Plate Armor. Ingenious Smith. Another Gretchen Titchwillow. A Lurking Roper. And the rare is a Gelatinous Cube. 2 black for an ooze. That's a 4/3, and it can engulf. When Gelatinous Cube enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature an opponent controls until Gelatinous Cube leaves the battlefield. And then it dissolves for X and a black. Put target creature card with mana value X, exiled with Gelatinous Cube, into its owner's graveyard. So you can kind of like eat the creature with it. I like the flavor of that. That's fun. Our foil is a Sepulchre Ghoul. We got his art card earlier, so that's kind of fun. And we have a Dungeon of the Mad Mage as our token for this one. Alright. Next up, we've got... I'm not sure what that is. Someone cutting someone's head off with an axe, it looks like. Maybe cutting off a zombie's head. It is a critical hit. That makes sense. If you're going to knock a zombie's head off, you might do it with a critical hit. Then we have a Plains, a Dire Wolf Prowler, Goblin Javelineer, Hobgoblin Captain, Dueling Rapier, Targnar Demon Fang Knoll again, Ray of Frost, Red Dragon, Air Cult Elemental, Hunter's Mark. And then we got a land, Den of the Bugbear. It's a land. If you control 2 or more other lands, it enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for a red mana, and you can pay 4, and until end of turn, Den of the Bugbear becomes a 3/2 red goblin creature with, whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. It's still a land. So this, I'm going to put right into my goblin commander deck, because I can always use more ways to make goblins, especially after someone decides to wipe the board. Then we got a Rime Shield Frost Giant, which, just like the Mimic from earlier, it looks like the only part of it that's foil is the actual art. The text box and everything doesn't seem to be foil. Or maybe it is? Maybe just a little bit? It's really hard to tell, but definitely the art is. And then our token is a Devil. When this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. It's a Bearded Devil. I think these are made by the Zariel in the set, but very nice. Alright, our next pack, we start with someone stealing from a dragon. Probably not the best idea. It's a Horde Robber, which makes sense. We got an island. We got Shesra, Death's Whisper. She real fancy. Legendary creature, Human Elf Warlock. When it enters the battlefield, target creature blocks this turn if able, and at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. She seems fun. She seems nice. I like her. Dawnbringer Cleric, Herald of Hadar, Minimus Containment, Green Dragon, Temple of the Dragon Queen, Dragon's Disciple, another Dawnbringer Cleric, same pack. It's like the 2nd or 3rd time that's happened. Look at that. Twinsies. Next up we have a Compelled Duel and a Vorpal Sword as our rare. So 1 black for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Death Touch. And you can pay 5 black, black, black. And until end of turn, Vorpal Sword gains, whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. And it equips for black, black. That's cool. I know I keep saying this, like, oh, I have a commander deck this will go in, but I have a commander deck this will go in. I've got a mono black Yargle Voltron deck that would love to see a Vorpal Sword. Death Touch +2/+0 and the chance to just knock someone out seems good. We got a Ranger's Longbow as our foil, and a Lost Mine of Fandelver as our token. Yeah, so I am very happy with what we've gotten so far, but like I said, I don't think we've gotten any mythics. I'm pretty sure, well, besides Lolth. I think she's the only mythic we've gotten so far. We got some goblins. These are... oh, they're just goblins. Dope. Small humanoid, goblinoid, challenge 1/4, armor class 15, hit point 7, attacks, nimble, escape, scimitar, and shortbow. I love goblins. Big fan. Not my very first standard deck, but one of my first standard decks was a goblin tribal deck right around the time Dominaria came out. So, big love for goblins. We got an island. We got a blink dog. Look at him, he's fancy. Earth Cult Elemental. Hoarding Ogre. Spoils of the Hunt. Another wizard class. Magic Missile. Iron Golem. A Find the Path. A Battle Cry Goblin. Ooh, and our rare is a Treasure Vault. I've heard a lot of people talking about this card. It's an artifact land, which is very spicy. It taps for a colorless, and then you can pay XX tap, sacrifice it to create X treasure tokens. So you can turn it into treasure when you need it. And the fact that it's an artifact land is a big deal. We got a shiny Hunter's Mark, and then a Magic minigame, Totally Lost in Translation. Work together to score as many points as possible by deciphering your teammates' clues and correctly guessing the mystery card. So it sounds like a 20 questions type game, or like a taboo. So I've never actually tried any of these mini games. I probably should at some point. Maybe I'll try them with my students at some point. Next one we have a Tarask, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's even got the stats. That's a nice one to have stats for. Tarask, gargantuan monstrosity, a titan, challenge rating 30, armor class 25, hit points 676, attacks reflective carapace, bite, claw, horns, tail, frightful presence, swallow, and chomp. This thing is a terrifying beast. I love him. He's great. Forest. We have a Knoll Hunter. We have a Dwarf Hold Champion. +2 Mace. Paladin's Shield. Goblin Morningstar. Battlecry Goblin. You see a pair of goblins. Got all the goblins again. Veteran Dungeoneer. An Underdark Basilisk. And our rare is a Treasure Chest. 3 mana. You can pay 4, sacrifice it, roll a d20. If you get a 1, it's trapped and you lose 3 life. A 2 through 9, you make 5 treasure tokens. 10 through 19, you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. And then 20, search your library for a card. If it's an artifact, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Seems kind of cool. I'd imagine the 20 is quite rare, but even anything from a 2 to a 19 is still very good. Making 5 treasure tokens or gaining 3 life and drawing 3 cards seem very good. Then we have a Silver Raven. Ooh. And we have a list card. It is Grenzo, Dungeon Warden. X black red legendary creature goblin rogue for a 2/2. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. And you can pay 2 to put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. Very nice. I like that it deals with the bottom of the library, because that's a very rare ability in Magic. And this is also from Masters 25. I think we got a list card earlier from Masters 25 as well. Alright. Open up another one. Oop. I didn't technically spoil it for me, but we do have a list card in this one as well. And we got, oh look at that, I think that's the Pixie guide from earlier. Yes, Pixie guide. And the fancy full art. Swamp, a Manticore, Shocking Grasp, Rime Shield Frost Giant, Air Cult Elemental, a Rust Monster, scary little things, a Bag of Holding, which that's a reprint. This used to be a rare, now it's an uncommon, but still very good. Portable Hole, which is also very good. Exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls mana value 2 or less. Mordenkainen's Polymorph. Critical Hit, so there's the art card we got earlier. And we have a Zorn. Zorn is a 2 and a red, elemental, 3/2. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. That's kind of cool. I don't have a lot of decks that use treasures, but I feel like if I did, this would be an auto-include. And then our foil is a Reaper's Talisman. 1 black for an artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. And then whenever equipped creature attacks alone, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And it equips for 2. Alright, and like I said, we got a list card there. So our list card is... Whoo baby, that's real nice. Look at that. Sneak Attack. 3 and a red for an enchantment. Pay a red, choose a creature card from your hand, and put that creature into play. The creature is unaffected by summoning sickness. At the end of turn, sacrifice the creature. So I mentioned earlier that I thought about buying a Krark's Thumb, but I was like, nah, it's too expensive. I also thought about buying a Sneak Attack, but also decided, no, it was too expensive. So we are hitting some pretty good stuff out of this box. I also like the flavor text on this. Nothing beats surprise, except rock. Rock do beat surprise. Alright, so we are... Looks like we got about 10 packs left. So we are about 2/3 of the way through our box. And our next card, pretty sure that's the Purple Worm. Oh, it's even got stats. Heck yeah. Purple Worm, Gargantuan Monstrosity, Challenge 15, Armor Class 18, Hit Points 247, Attacks Bite and Tail Stinger. I've never used one of these as a DM, but I have faced one as a player. They are pretty spooky. Next up we have Forest. We have the Lurking Roper. This thing's face is terrifying. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is creepy. You find the villain's lair. Kick in the door. You see a guard approach. White dragon. Black dragon. Choose your weapon. Kick in the door. Man, we did it again, didn't we? We're very good at getting the two of the same card in the same pack. It's quite impressive. We got a red dragon. We got 3 dragons in this pack. And then we have an Orb of Dragonkind as our rare. It's 1 and a red for an artifact. Pay 1, tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. And then you can pay a red and tap it, sacrifice it. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Interesting. So, potentially finding you a dragon could be pretty good. And then our foil is a Ranger's Hawk. Very nice. And we have another mini game, a Mimic Match. Match and collect the most treasure chests before someone uncovers the mimics hiding amongst the loot. So I think it's like a matching game, but you can't get the 2 lands that are hidden in there. Alright. Next up. Ooh, man, I did it again. I keep spoiling the fact that we have a list card. So, if I have to see it, you do too, unfortunately. This looks like it might just be a land. That is a forest. Huh. I honestly probably would have guessed it was a swamp. I think they're meant to be like fungus trees. There's a bunch of mushrooms growing on them. Creepy. Then we have a swamp. We have a Gretchen Titchwillow. Very nice. Boots of Speed. Armory Veteran. Great Axe. Dungeon Map. Purple Worm again. Blue Dragon. You find some prisoners. Oh, and our rare is a Paladin class. 1 white. Spells your opponents cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. Level up to level 2 for 3 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+1. And then level up to level 3 for 5 mana. Whenever you attack, until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. That is spooky. That sounds like something that's going to kill me a lot in Standard. I like it. Next. Ooh, look at that. Big Papa Tarrasque. So I mentioned earlier we had only gotten 1 mythic so far. There's another. For 6 green, legendary creature dinosaur. 10/10. The Tarrasque has haste and ward 10 as long as it was cast. So you can't like sneak it into play and expect to get that. But ward 10, that's a lot. So you want to Path to Exile it for 1 mana. It actually costs you 11. Whenever the Tarrasque attacks, it fights target creature defending player controls. It's expensive, but wow. Very powerful. And then we got a shiny critical hit. And list card is Golem's Heart. Whenever a player casts an artifact spell, you may gain 1 life. Huh. Interesting. That might not be too bad if you're playing up against the right kind of decks. Like maybe if you're playing up against a Joyra deck, that might save your life. Alright, next up. I won't look this time. I'll try not to spoil the surprise. Make sure if there's a list card I don't know about it. We have Fly. This one is not signed, like our last one was. Plains. A Goblin Javelineer. Direwolf Prowler. Plundering Barbarian. Silver Raven. Displacer Beast. Oh, he's cool. Blink Dog. Wild Shape. A White Dragon. A Hobgoblin Bandit Lord as our rare. 1 red, Goblin Rogue, 2/3. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. I'm already on board. And you can pay a red and tap it, and it deals damage equal to the number of goblins that entered the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. I feel like this is something that's going to go into Sean's Goblin deck, his Krenko deck, and I am pretty confident I'm going to die to this card someday. Seems very good. Oh, we got another one. Oh, and another mythic at that. We have a Flame Skull. 1 red for a 3/1 flying. Flame Skull can't block, and when it dies, exile it. If you do, exile the top card of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you may play one of those cards. So if you cast Flame Skull, you can't cast the other thing. That's kind of cool. I like him. Oh, and a foil rare. Holy cow, this pack was stacked. We have a white. It's 1 and a black for a zombie soldier. 3/2, enters the battlefield tapped. And Life Drain. Whenever a creature dealt damage by white this turn dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token and exile that card. So it's kind of nice that it exiles anything it kills, and you get a zombie. I like him. I can support that. So we'll put him in the rare pile as well. And then we have a Tomb of Annihilation. It's the one with the Atropal. Alright, next up. And after this one, we're down to 5. So we are very quickly approaching the end of our box, unfortunately, because I enjoy opening packs. So it's always very sad to be done. Alright, we have... I think this is the Den of the Bugbear. I think this is the land we got earlier. It is, yes. Den of the Bugbear. Then we have a Foily Island. We got a Manticore. Elterguard Ranger. Ranger's Longbow. Plummet. Chaos Channeler. Burning Hands. Loathsome Troll. Clattering Skeletons. A Drider. Oh. Ooh, hello. Man, another mythic. We didn't get any mythics till the end of the pack, it seems like. This time we got an Ebon Death Dracolich. 2 black zombie dragon. 5/2 flash flying. Enters the battlefield tapped. And you may cast Ebon Death Dracolich from your graveyard if a creature not named Ebon Death Dracolich died this turn. Man, I like him. He is very nice. Then for our foil, we have a Thieves' Tools. I mentioned earlier about a character I used to play that was a cleric to Bahamut. Well, he started as an assassin. Well, I know, weird, but made some good use out of some Thieves' Tools. Oh, let's sneak a peek at the bottom there. We have a Lashweed Lurker. 8 mana Eldrazi Horror 5/4. Emerge for 7. When you cast it, you may put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Interesting. I do like Eldrazi. And next up we've got... Oh, look at that. Good old friend just came back. The Hobgoblin... Was it Hobgoblin Chieftain? Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. A Shiny Plains. Clattering Skeletons. Devoted Paladin. Steadfast Paladin. Potion of Healing. Intrepid Outlander. You Happened on a Glade. Wandering Troubadour. Boots of Speed. Dungeon Map. And our rare is a Dancing Sword. 1 and a white equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. And whenever equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment. That's kind of cool. And our foil, is another foil rare. Hall of Storm Giants, which is like our Den of the Bugbear earlier. Land, if you control 2 or more other lands, it enters tapped. It taps for a blue, and you can pay 6. And until end of turn, it becomes a 7/7 blue giant creature with ward 3. Very cool. And our token is a treasure. Alright. Next up, maybe. Struggling to get this pack open. There we go. We've got, another signed card. That one shows up a little bit easier. This is Sudden Insight. Very cool. I do like the art cards with the signatures. I think they look very nice. Art pops a little bit. Island. Arborea Pegasus. Clever Conjurer. Find the Path. Hill Giant Herd Gorger. Check for Traps. Crydell of Baldur's Gate. Split the Party. Warlock class. Very cool. A Flumph. My boy, the Flumphs. 2 mana. Jellyfish. 0/4 Defender with Flying. Whenever Flumph is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. Now, I'm not quite sure how to break this, but I'm sure there's a way. It seems like something we could easily break if we tried. We also got another mythic. See, I'm telling you, all the mythics were at the back of the pack, man. So the Book of Exalted Deeds, currently banned in Standard 2022. White for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 3/3 White Angel creature token with flying. And white tap, exile the Book of Exalted Deeds, put an enlightened counter on target angel. It gains you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. Activate only as a sorcery. So, the reason this got banned in Standard 2022 is because people were putting it on Faceless Haven, the land that can turn into a creature of any type. And since there's not a lot of land destruction, it was incredibly hard to deal with. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure where that'll go, but I have some ideas. We got a Foily Plummet. And our token is another treasure. Alright, up next. Yep, we are at our final 3. We're pulling out the last pack for each of the rows in this box. So, for this one, we've got, I think that's the Wandering Troubadour. We've seen them a couple of times. Maybe, if I can get it. There we go. Yep, Wandering Troubadour. Then we have a Forest, Neverwinter Dryad. You find a Cursed Idol. Half-Elf Monk. Knoll Hunter. Druid Class. Gretchen Titchwillow. Sudden Insight. Dueling Rapier. A non-foil Hall of Storm Giants. So we got 2 of those. That's kind of fun. And we got another rare too. Cave of the Frost Dragon. This one, land, if you control 2 or more other lands, it enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a white, or you can pay 5 and it becomes a 3/4 white dragon creature with flying until end of turn. Pretty cool. Then we have a Scaled Herbalist. And we have a token. It is Oh, it's not a token. It's just an ad card. So, it's our first one though, so there must not be too many in there, considering we only got one in our last 3 packs. Alright, next one we've got... Looks like, I think that's a Demi-Lich. I think that's the card. It is. Oh, and it's another one of these. I love these things. These things are so cool. Demi-Lich, Tiny Undead, Challenge 18, Armor Class 20, Hit Points 80. It's got a fly speed of 30 feet, and it can attack by using Howl, Life Drain, and Vile Curse. That's fun. I love him. He seems pretty good. The Ginny Windseer, Leather Armor, Dwarf Hold Champion, +2 Mace, Hunter's Mark, Tiger Tribe Hunter, Hulking Bugbear, Ranger's Longbow, a Black Dragon, and our rare is a Westgate Regent. So we got the fancy version of him earlier. This is the vampire that whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. So that's pretty cool. And then we got a shiny Steadfast Paladin. And our token is Magic Minigame Roll for Initiative. As you enter the room, the terrible dragon opens its eyes and lets out a roar. Everybody, roll for initiative. Roll a d20 and modify the result with some magic cards to get the highest initiative. Interesting. I like that all the minigames appear to be like D&D themed. Alright, so here we go. This is our last pack, very last one. And we are going to start it off with a normal Sudden Insight. That's kind of interesting. So both of the signed art cards we got a normal one of the exact same one. Huh, I wonder what the odds are of that. We got a Shiny Swamp. We got a Goblin Javelineer. A Bull's Strength. Shocking Grasp. Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Bruenor Battle Hammer. Plate Armor. Ingenious Smith. The Power of Persuasion. A Moon Blessed Cleric. And then our rare is the Black Staff of Waterdeep. 1 blue for a legendary artifact. You may choose not to untap the Black Staff during your untap step, and you can pay 2 and tap it, and another target non-token artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature for as long as the Black Staff remains tapped. And you can activate this only as a sorcery. Huh. Interesting. And then our foil. Ending strong with the foils there. That's nice. We got a Farida, Devil's Chosen. That's really pretty. I'm telling you, I love this style of art, man. 2 blue, red, legendary creature Tiefling Warlock, 3/3. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, Farida, Devil's Chosen gains flying and menace until end of turn, and if any of those results was 10 or higher, draw a card. So it looks like there's our dice rolling commander, if you're looking for a commander deck. Oh, and we get to end with a list card. We got Swiftfoot Boots. Swiftfoot Boots. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Equip 1. Like, as I've mentioned, I'm a big commander player, so having more Swiftfoot Boots, never a bad thing. The weird part, though, it's another Masters 25 card. We got like 3 of those. It's weird. Alright. So that was our box opening for the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any cards in here that kind of pique your interest, if there's any cards that you'd like to see turned into a deck for the channel, or if there's anything else you're interested in seeing. But please do like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to do more of this kind of stuff in the future, but as always, let me know if there's anything you want to see. And other than that, we'll wrap up our video there, and I will see you all on the other side of the Dungeon Learner's Guide.